Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking the incredibly dense architectural map of your brain's core and, well, turning it into a pretty fascinating journey through your body's master control room. I'm really thrilled you're here with me today. You see, we usually just go about our days completely unaware of the invisible, deeply hidden machinery that literally makes our very existence possible. But today we're bringing the complex connections and vital functions of the hypothalamus right out into the open. So let's jump right in.
Okay, let's kick things off with a question that kind of challenges the whole idea of your daily choices and really your perceived free will. Who actually controls your body? I mean, you probably think you do, right? You decide when to wake up, you decide when to grab lunch, you decide to put on a sweater because you feel cold. But what if I told you that an incredibly tiny cluster of cells deep inside your skull is actually pulling the strings? What if that conscious thought is really just the end result of a biological command that was already issued by a hidden director? It's a pretty wild thought experiment, for sure, and it perfectly sets the stage for our entire exploration today.
Now here's the really mind-blowing part. We are talking about a biological structure that is roughly the size of a single almond. Just picture an almond for a second. Yet this tiny little region is single-handedly responsible for keeping you alive and functioning. The hypothalamus sits right at the base of your brain, acting as the absolute master control center for an unimaginably complex web of neurological connections and essential biological functions. Without this almond-sized architectural wonder, the delicate balance of your entire body would literally collapse in an instant.
Here is our architectural tour for today. First, mapping the brain's core. Second, the architectural layout. Third, incoming and outgoing connections. Fourth, core biological functions. And finally, the master control center.
Section 1. Mapping the brain's core, the ultimate biological blueprint.
Okay, so to really grasp the hypothalamus, we first have to understand the sheer scale of what we're dealing with inside your head. We aren't just looking at a static piece of biology. It's more like, think of a really high-end smart home system. You've got a central hub that monitors the temperature in every single room. It checks the security sensors, manages the power grid, and maybe even dims the lights when it's time for bed. Your hypothalamus is exactly that, but infinitely more sophisticated. It's a microscopic control panel continuously reading data from your body and adjusting your waking, your eating, your physiological reactions, and your sleeping. And it does this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without you ever having to press a single button.
Section 2. The architectural layout, blueprint of the control room.
As we zoom in here, we can actually navigate this physical layout through 3 distinct structural zones. It's kind of like walking through different wings of a highly secure command center. First up, we have the anterior region at the front, which acts a bit like your body's cooling system and manages your circadian rhythms. Then, moving right into the middle, we find the tuberal region. Now, this department is heavily involved in your appetite and regulating your body's growth. And that's largely because it connects directly to the pituitary gland, which is basically your body's master hormone dispenser. Finally, at the back, we have the posterior region, which serves as your body's heating system and is heavily tied to memory and physical responses to emotion. Each of these zones has a highly specific architectural purpose, perfectly segmented to handle the massive workload of keeping you stable.
Section 3. Incoming and outgoing connections, the wiring of the brain.
So this perfectly illustrates the absolute information superhighway going on inside your head. Flowing in, we've got afferent signals. That's all the incoming sensory data. Imagine like thousands of sensors all over your body, in your skin, your blood vessels, your organs, and they are constantly sending live updates about temperature, blood sugar levels, and hydration right back to base. Then flowing out, we have the efferent commands. Once the hypothalamus processes all that incoming data, it immediately fires off outgoing chemical and neural instructions. It tells your muscles to shiver, or your glands to sweat, or your stomach to release hunger hormones. It is just this beautiful, endless loop of data coming in and vital survival commands going out.
Next up, Section 4, Core Biological Functions, the operations of the control panel.
Now, let's connect those dense anatomical zones we just talked about directly to your everyday life. Look at Zone A right there, responsible for temperature regulation. When you step out into the freezing snow and literally immediately start shivering, that is not a conscious choice. That is your hypothalamus throwing the biological switch to generate heat. Moving to Zone B, which deals with hunger responses. We've all experienced getting hangry, right? That sudden, intense irritability when we desperately need food. Well, you can literally blame your hypothalamus for that. It's sensing low blood sugar and sending out chemical alarm bells demanding fuel. And Zone C dictates your sleep and waking cycles. So when you feel that heavy wave of exhaustion hit at 11 p.m., or you naturally wake up with the sunrise, that's your master clock hard at work.
I want to just pause on this number for a second. 1. It is absolutely incredible to think that just one singular tiny control center is managing all of these countless bodily reactions at the exact same time. It's balancing your temperature, your hunger, your thirst, your sleep, and your stress responses, all to maintain what biologists call perfect homeostasis, basically a state of steady internal conditions. Just one structure keeping the absolute chaos of the outside world from disrupting the delicate balance of your internal world.
And finally, Section 5, the Master Control Center, the big picture of biological survival.
This quote right here really captures the whole point of our explainer today. The architectural map of the hypothalamus reveals the blueprint for homeostasis. When we look at this part of the brain, we're not just looking at random biology, right? We're looking at a highly organized, physically segmented, and perfectly wired blueprint that literally engineers our survival. Every single connection, every region, and every signal sent is meticulously designed to keep you stable in a completely unpredictable world.
So, I want to leave you with this final kind of provocative thought, circling right back to the question we started with. Think about that line between your own conscious free will and the biological wiring running silently in your brain's master control room. The next time you grab a snack, or take off your jacket, or decide it's finally time for bed, ask yourself, are those daily choices really yours, or is it just your hypothalamus quietly and brilliantly doing its job? Thank you so much for joining me today, and honestly, I hope you never look at your everyday habits the same way again.